Excellent. Good afternoon. Thank you for your interest and participation in the CSDE IEP preview series. My name is Brian Klimkowitz. I'm the Special Education Division Director. And on behalf of the Connecticut State Department of Education, I'd like to welcome you to our session. Whether you're participating live this afternoon or viewing this recording at a later date and time. The CSDE is committed to improving the quality of IEPs and the special education process. We're in the midst of a historic statewide special education improvement effort. The foundation for this goal is the transition to a statewide Connecticut Special Education Data System, or CT-SEDS. A tremendous amount of strategic planning and collaboration has resulted in a multifaceted system of training and technical assistance designed to support our educators, parents, and other stakeholders within our educational community. The CSDE is proud to provide you with an opportunity to participate in our IEP quality training series and soon to be released Connecticut SEDS navigation training. We know change is challenging and difficult, but any effort engaged to benefit the students of Connecticut is a journey worth taking. Thank you for embracing this new opportunity, as well as for your partnership and support during this exciting time. This initiative will be successful because of you all, our participants. So today is our 6th session in our series that's designed to preview and highlight a variety of components of the IEP process within CT-SEDS. These sessions take place each Monday afternoon from 4 p.m. through 5 p.m. and can be accessed using the same Zoom link for each session. We are going to go ahead and drop that IEP series flyer into the chat box so you can see the full schedule. Today's session is focused on student present levels of performance as well as goals and objectives. Our commitment to you is to do our best to start and end on time. And as I mentioned when you were transitioning from the waiting room, all of these sessions are recorded and able to be viewed at your leisure on our new IEP CT-SEDS website. And we put that direct link in the chats for you to be able to access. You'll see the full complement of our schedule as well as our recordings and our slide decks. Please share those with your staff and all interested individuals in this initiative. Our structure for today's session includes a brief presentation followed by a question and answer session as we've done on our previous calls. Joining me today and facilitating our session is Michael Tavernier, Bureau of Special Education Consultant. And I would also like to thank Steve Profit and the CERC team for the facilitation and support for all of these sessions. Much appreciated, Steve and Craig behind the scenes. Thank you very much. Our goal for today's session is to help you understand the present levels of performance and goals and objectives process within CT-SEDS, while also highlighting the enhancements of our new IEP document related to those sections. Due to the format of the presentation, participants are unable to unmute. However, we do encourage you to ask questions via the Q&A panel. If you have a question at any time, please do not hesitate to use the Q&A panel, which you'll find at the bottom of your screen next to the chat button. Please do not place questions in the chat as they may not be recognized or seen by the presenters. If we don't have time to reach all of your questions and answer them live, we will record and save those questions and respond to them at a future date, which will also help to inform us on future training sessions. This series is not a replacement for our IEP quality training or CT-SEDS user navigation training, but they are designed to supplement and assist you in your transition from your current system to the CT-SEDS on July 1, 2022, which is our go live launch date. All right, at this point, I think we're ready to begin. I'm going to start out by highlighting just a few of our new IEP enhancements based on the sections that we are addressing this afternoon. As you're most likely aware, we engaged in a broad stakeholder feedback process 4 years ago and received valuable information from parents, educators, and our community, which resulted in an improved IEP template. Many of the enhancements recommended by our stakeholders will be on display today in our slides. In the new IEP, there are 2 areas of the IEP which parents can provide input, and their input can be documented, parents and students. The academic achievement domain as well as the functional performance domain. One of the greatest enhancements of our new IEP is the improved flow of information. You will notice an improved connection between present levels of performance, the impact of the student's disability, and the corresponding goals and objectives. Gone are the days of flipping back and forth between pages 4, 5, and 7 to be able to understand those connections. Finally, embedded within our system is the Connecticut Core grade level learning standards for ELA, math, and our early learning development standards, or ELDS, for our youngest pre-K learners. As a point of reference, let's take a look at our current IEP document. On this slide, you can see our current present level of academic and functional performance, or page 4. And the parent and student input and concerns, as you know, are at the top of the page. Underneath that is our familiar column structure for area, strength, concern/need, as well as the impact of the student's disability on involvement and progress in the general education curriculum or appropriate preschool activities. And here is our page 5 of the current IEP, which is a continuation and displays a variety of areas, as you can see, from behavior/social emotional at the top of the page, all the way down through the other category on the bottom of the slide. This next slide is our current goal and objective page, or page 7. As you know, multiple pages are used to address the variety of needs and the necessary goal areas for the student. Evaluation procedures, performance criteria, along with dates for evaluating and reporting progress are located on the right-hand side of the page. And the bottom of our current page includes a key for the above mentioned areas. In order for a goal or objective to be measurable, of course, they must contain evaluation procedures and performance criteria. Separating these components out, however, as seen on our current IEP, can cause confusion as well as some redundancies in the development of our goals and objectives. So let's take a look at how we structure present levels, goals, and objectives on our new IEP document. Here's our new present levels of academic achievement layout within the new IEP. The first domain area for the student. Each goal area will include a section of present levels of performance. And like our current document, you can see strengths, concerns, needs, and impact of students' disability on their involvement and progress in the general education curriculum or appropriate preschool activities are included. Rather than the columns that are on a separate page on our current form, this format improves readability and flow of information for students, parents, and educators alike. As you can see, this information leads directly into our annual goals and objectives. And the new IEP also documents the Connecticut Core standards in the areas related to ELA, math, and early learning development. Multiple standards may be identified by the user. Below the Connecticut Core standards, there is a section for related services. When a user completes the related services grid, any of those areas of related service that are supporting a specific goal would appear underneath here. This does not preclude, of course, a related service provider from generating a separate goal as well. We will talk about this in greater depth when we review our new IEP preview series on services grids in the upcoming weeks ahead. The final area in this section of the IEP, as you can see on the bottom of the slide, is the additional data / assessment information. These data would not be included in the present levels of performance and may include formal standardized assessment information or important information that is a bit older, but still important, but not directly related to goals and objectives. Just a couple of final notes for this slide. Of course, like our current system, multiple goals can be added for each goal area. And when a different goal area is selected for a student, the system will pre-populate this information. For example, if math is the area, in this example, you can see reading, all of the same information would be needed to be completed for that goal area. This next slide depicts the present levels of functional performance and annual goals and objectives, the second domain, if you will. This mirrors the previous slide. And just a note here, you can see the second area of parent and/or student input. Each goal is displayed with an evaluation method, as you can see, and each objective displays with an evaluation schedule for progress monitoring purposes. And just like the previous slide, additional goals can be added and will be numbered accordingly. And each additional goal area would require completion of the information that you see here. At this time, I will turn the presentation over to Michael to talk you through how CT SEDS will support the development of these sections of the IEP. Michael?
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone. As you have seen in previous sessions, the IEP module is organized by tiles on a main landing page. As tiles are completed, they turn from gray, meaning they haven't been started, to red, meaning they've been started but not completed, and finally to green, which is fully complete. To work on present levels, goals and objectives, and supplementary aids and services, you would select the tile shown here by the red arrow. And just a quick note, we will be reviewing supplementary aids and services during a future IEP preview session. Let's take a look at the CT SEDS interface once the tile has been selected. The section begins with some general information, as you can see pictured with the white eye in the blue circle. The parent and/or student input is very straightforward. It contains two text boxes, one for academic cognitive achievement and one for functional performance. Each text box does contain a spell checker, and information can be cut and pasted from another document if needed. If a parent or student submits their input in writing, that document can be uploaded in the system and attached using the link in the upper right-hand corner. Before moving on, it's always a good idea to click on the green Save button on the bottom right side. The next section of the page supports the selection of the goal areas. As goal areas are selected, the page will expand to allow the user to populate present levels of performance and goals and objectives for each area. There are warnings, rules of completion built into the system, as you can see here with the yellow triangle. This warning will appear based on specific responses chosen to the question regarding the student's behavior in the special considerations section, which we mentioned in our last presentation. The Save button should be clicked once all of the goal areas have been selected. For our presentation this afternoon, we are showing you the present levels of performance for the academic area of reading. There are 4 text boxes in this area: present level of performance data, strengths, concerns, needs, and the impact statement. These text boxes also contain a spell checker and will expand as needed depending upon the length of the text. Once the present levels are complete, the user should first click on the green Save button and then select the blue link, Add Goal Objective. Once the user clicks on the link, they will be brought to the section of the system to design the goals and objectives for this goal area. The first prompt will be for the user to select a content standard. The standards are accessible in the system by clicking on the blue link, Add Standards, as displayed in the upper right-hand corner. Once the link is selected, a standards modal will pop up. The user will first select the standard area from a pre-populated drop-down menu. The list is populated by subject area and grade. In this example, ELA Grade 3 was selected. Once the standard area is selected, the next drop-down list will appear. The user must then select a standards category. You can see in this slide, there are 6 different standard categories to choose from: foundational reading skills, language, reading informational text, reading literature, speaking and listening, and writing. After the standards category is selected, the last step is for the user to select the appropriate standard. You can see the 2 options that are populated here on this slide. Once the appropriate selection is made, the user has the option to close, which will not save the data, save, or add more standards. The saved selections will automatically populate the IEP document. Once the user has selected the standards, they are prompted to complete the annual goal. We have designed the goal writing section using a template format to assist educators in writing quality measurable goals. As the user types in the text boxes, the goal statement will begin to appear at the top under the words annual goal, as you can see here indicated by the red arrow. The template includes static text and 3 text boxes. Given is the first piece of static text and is the word that will begin each goal. The user types in the conditions, materials, setting, accommodation, or assistive technology needed. The student's name, followed by the word will, is the next bit of static text that appears. In this case, Vaughn will blank. The user will need to add the measurable skill or behavior. In the final step of writing an annual goal, the user will input to what extent or how well the skill or behavior will occur in order to determine mastery for the student. Before the user leaves this section, an evaluation method must be selected. It's here at the bottom of the slide. For annual goals, this will often be the first radio button option. Progress toward meeting the annual goal will be measured by the achievement on short-term objectives. There is also an option to select Other and type in a different evaluation method. As each goal is developed, it will appear on the main page under the current level of performance information, indicated here by the red arrow. The annual goal will be displayed and include the evaluation method, the number of associated short-term objectives, and the core standard that is aligned to the goal. A goal can be edited by clicking on the edit pencil or deleted by clicking on the trash can icon. Now let's take a closer look at how objectives are added to the goal. As you can see here, a user can add objectives by clicking on the blue link in the upper right-hand corner. Once the link is clicked, a pop-up modal will appear. There are some simple directions which you can see again with the white eye in the blue circle. The annual goal for which these objectives will be supporting is displayed at the top. The generation of an objective, like the goal, is supported by a template with static text and text boxes. The template includes text boxes to enter the condition, targeted skill or behavior, and the evaluation criteria and method. Once all components of the objective are completed, the user will select a by when date, meaning the target date for the achievement of the objective. This could be the last day of the IEP, or any date prior to that end date, if objectives are written to be mastered sequentially. There is one more piece of information that needs to be entered before the objective modal is completed: the progress monitoring schedule. The user will need to scroll down a bit to see the drop-down menu options for the progress monitoring schedule, shown here on the right-hand side. As you can see, the user may select daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or bi-monthly. There is also an other option which can be selected. If other is selected, the user would be prompted to type in the progress monitoring schedule for the objective. With all aspects of the short-term objective complete, the user can either save and add another objective, close, which will not save the data, or save. As objectives are completed, they are displayed under the objective section, as you can see in this slide. From this display, objectives can be edited or deleted by selecting the pencil or trash can. Earlier in the presentation, you may recall the additional data assessment information that is included in 2 locations in our new IEP document. This CT Sets interface screen shows the very simple structure to enter this information, which includes 2 text boxes: academic cognitive achievement and functional performance. So in summary, the present levels and annual goals section of the IEP is divided into 2 domain areas: academic achievement and functional performance. Parent and student input is collected for both of these areas. Annual goals and objectives are developed using templates. Short-term objectives also require a progress monitoring schedule. Core standards are required for reading, writing, math, and early learning development. Lastly, once an IEP is finalized, the data for goals and objectives is saved and can be edited for a future revision or amendment if needed. Now that concludes our presentation. We're going to stop the recording, and I will turn it over to Steve and Brian to facilitate the Q&A section. Thank you.